with you as we get ready for a little NBA action on 2K Sports. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It'll be the Denver Nuggets facing off against the Atlanta Hawks. And now off to Phillips Arena with our crew of Kevin, Clark, and Steve who are ready for the call.
Hello, everyone. Get ready for NBA action live on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by my partners Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Now a chance to check out our starting lineups. First, for the Nuggets, a big first for this young rookie, getting his first. Then it's Wilson Chandler, and it's Harvey in at the 4. And for Atlanta, Devin Harris is out there with Lou Williams. And holding down the middle, a tremendously hard-working and versatile big man out of the Dominican Republic, Al Horford. And it's Jamison in at the 4 spot.
You know, you might have expected a team that finished 3rd in the West to have a positive road record, but the Nuggets last season actually finished south of 500 when they left the Pepsi Center.
Well, Clark, as you said, with the Nuggets on the road, 19-23 record for them on the road. What's the difference between them and the Thunder, Steve, in that division?
Well, they were so dominant at home, Kevin, and they always have been, just with their style of play and the altitude. But it's just tough to go out and play that same style on the road where you're running constantly. You're just more vulnerable defensively when you play that style when you're out on the road than you do when you play it at home.
Down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. Harris with it. He dishes it to Horford. Back to Harris. Hawks passing it around. Here's Jamison, and foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
I think he's best as a spot-up shooter. When he can play off of his teammates and find openings on the perimeter, just catch and shoot. Got a quick release. Beautiful stroke.
He does such a nice job of getting himself squared up and in perfect position before the ball gets there, preparing before the pass.
And he makes the first.
The Hawks made the playoffs again, but ended up losing in the first round to the Pacers in 6 games. Dropped the first 2 in Indiana, won the next 2 in Atlanta, but it all ended when the Pacers got them in Game 6.
Jamison hits them both. Well, and for the Hawks, it's been 6 consecutive seasons with basically this group. Certainly Joe Johnson left as a free agent to Brooklyn. But, Steve, they have yet to get past the second round in any of those playoff runs.
I think that's why they decided to part ways with Josh Smith and originally with Joe Johnson 2 seasons ago, just to make that next step, to start fresh. And they may take a dip here, but I think that the future does look bright.
Well, they'll give him that shot. He doesn't have the most reliable jump shot in the world. We know that.
And the pass to Cannon. Back to Williams. Hits it from 3-point range.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
On defense, the Hawks. Here is Jennings. Thorpe, the pass to Jennings. Kicks it to Chandler. It's back to Jennings. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Denver gets it back. Chandler outside. 1:19 left to play in the first quarter. It's back to Jennings. Jennings off a pick from Hoffman. The tray. No good. So Atlanta will take it the other way.
Yeah, he's surprised he didn't make that one because he had a pretty clean look at the hoop.
And it's Harris off the drive. Back to Williams. Here's the three. It's rebounded by Hoffman. The Nuggets have gone 0 of 4, missing their first 4 field goals here. Chandler with the ball. Now guarded by Cannon. Now here's Jennings. Chandler outside. Again, the miss by Chandler.
Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
Now here's Williams. Williams with another miss. Thorpe kicks to Jennings. Trying to get back on track, and that one's good. A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. The Hawks on top, up 2. 2K Sports, back in a moment here at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. Now, what do you guys think about the Hawks here in this one?
And I thought the defense was key here for this club. They really tightened up and made it difficult on their opponent.
How about the help on the drives and rotations? I mean, they've really been in sync as a unit.
Here's Teague. Back to Thompson. Pass to Terrell. He feeds it to Goodrich. Working on Landry. Right block shot. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim. The Nuggets trail. Teague covering. Landry dishes to Chandler. Another 3 for Denver.
You know, defensively, you cannot forget about him. He gave him a wide-open look there.
Wilson Chandler was one of those guys who decided during the condensed season to play in China. Took him a while to get back to the NBA, and when he did, a hip injury kept him on the sidelines. But last season, he seemed to regain his earlier form.
And that's why teams emphasize the use of screens and picks, just to get you some open looks like that one.
Second quarter of basketball, about 1 minute played so far. Passes to Hoffman. Shot clock at 6. The Nuggets moving the ball around. No good from Ross. And Wilson Chandler, 26 years of age, athletic, physical, but the Nuggets gave him a nice 5-year contract on this basis of his potential.
Well, he's one of the players they got in the Carmelo Anthony trade. He's tough, low-maintenance guy, competes at both ends of the floor, and can really shoot the 3-ball well, too. I think he complements what Denver has tried to do here in recent years, playing that up-tempo style and yet maintain that floor spacing in the half court.
And a chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, even though there have been a lot of changes over the past few seasons in Atlanta, the team has rebounded despite the turnover in coaches and players. Al Horford said it came together quickly because of the GM, saying, quote, "We understood he was trying to do some things in a different way." Sounds like they have a good understanding of what they are trying to accomplish here, guys.
A lot of talent, Doris, and they're keeping them all working together.
Big step forward once again for Jeff Teague last season. He continued to up his scoring and assist totals and had one of his best years from the free throw line to date.
And he knocks down the first one. And Steve, back to Teague. He's working on that outside shooting, but as a point guard, you know, Clarkie's very effective around the rim with those little in-between shots you like so much.
Kevin, I love the arsenal he has, and every point guard needs to have those runners, floaters, flippers, I call them. You've got to have that. You're not always going to be able to get to the rim against such, you know, against bigger guys. And Steve also mentioned his good free throw percentage, so the more he can get himself to the line, the better for him and his team.
And so Teague hits 2 free throws.
You know, the high-octane offense and the up-tempo brand of basketball the Nuggets played really was quite effective in being able to kind of dominate Eastern Conference teams.
The Hawks have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. He passes to Cannon. He kicks it to Thompson. And there's the pass to Cannon. And once again off the mark by Atlanta. Well, and back to the Nuggets. They did well against the East, as you alluded to, Clark. They were 19-11, Steve, against the conference as a whole.
Well, that's right where they wanted to be record-wise, Kevin. And even though the Nuggets got out and ran, you know, they could actually still play with a physicality as well when they went up against the East. So they did pretty well. They swept the entire Central Division. They were the only team to go undefeated against an individual division all last year. And the defense looking to protect the rim at all costs.
Yeah, I like that. A foul to save the layup. Make him earn it at the line.
The Nuggets shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
Come on, you're going to miss it.
That one is off. And the Nuggets making a change here. Good on the second free throw. Here's Teague. Pass to Cannon. From deep. No good on that last second attempt there. And the first half ends in a close one. Nuggets lead by 1. Stay right where you are for the Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce. We'll see you in just a bit for the start of the second half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's Thursday night in the NBA, and from the 2K Sports Studios, this is the Halftime Report. A tight game for the Nuggets, squaring off against the Atlanta Hawks. And give them credit defensively, they're boxing out, controlling their defensive backboards. Wilson Chandler getting it done early. No big numbers by his name in the box score, but he's doing the little things out there to try and get his team to win. And on the other side, the Hawks also putting up big numbers. Hitting their free throws at a high percentage has been a key factor for them. And that'll be it for us here. Thanks so much for joining me. Now it's time to head back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. We hope to see you around next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And we welcome you back to more NBA action. Players looking hydrated and to help them get their job done tonight. Here's Harris. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game.
Hawks were pretty solid against the Western Conference, splitting the 30 games they played 15 and 15. And if you do that against the West, when you're an Eastern Conference team, usually you're going to make the playoffs, and the Hawks did as a 6th seed.
And for the Hawks against the West, as Clark, you were talking about earlier, 15 and 15. It might sound ho-hum, but Steve was actually the 4th best record against the West of all teams in the East.
Well, look, the West, we know the more dominant conference. I think 15-15 is a pretty solid record for Atlanta. So they had a good showing last year against the West.
He's perfect from the line this time.
And while it wasn't the biggest win streak of the season, the Nuggets did have a pretty good rampage of their own from the end of February into March. And because it happened when the Heat were doing what they were doing, the Nuggets kind of flew under the radar.
Here is Williams. Nuggets. Well, as you said, the Nuggets put together their big 15-game winning streak. But, you know, Steve, since it happened, when the Heat rattled off their big push, nobody really even seemed to notice.
That's right. It might have worked out in their favor anyway, Kevin, because, you know, that win streak really kind of put them into high gear and allowed them to climb into the third spot in the West. Probably was nice not having the media focused on them and wanting to talk to them every day about what was happening in the Western Conference.
Now here's Chandler following the miss by Al Horford. Jennings with the bucket.
And the lead goes right back over. This is a seesaw affair.
The game's there for the taking, but neither team seems to want it.
Harris kicks to Williams. Back to Harris. Passes it to Kuhn. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. 4 on the shot clock. Here's Harris. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good.
That's some more rugged play from them inside. They have a decent edge in rebounds thus far.
And that hard work on the boards needs to continue. That could be what swings this game eventually. A lot of high hopes for what Lou Williams could do with a new team last year. It really started off quickly with Atlanta, had some good games, but eventually the season went down the drain with that knee injury in January.
Good. Harris has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Guys, we're not through 3 quarters of play, but 6 lead changes already in this one.
Yeah, it's been a really good game for sure. I mean, it looks like it's going to stay tight throughout.
Yeah, very competitive action. I agree with you, Clark. I mean, this one could come down to the last few minutes the way it looks.
1:10 left in the third quarter, and the call will be against Al Horford. That is his first foul of the game. And for Williams' quickness, a big part of his game. We'll see how the knee affects his game, Clark.
You know, it normally takes a year or so to get back to playing, 2 years to get back to 100%, but he's signed to a very cap-friendly contract, so Atlanta may be able to weather his loss until he's back to his old self.
Out to Chandler. Dishes it to Jennings. Back to Chandler. Pass to Thorpe. Just 5 to shoot. Out of bounds. Atlanta will take possession.
Difficult to explain that turnover. I mean, I guess he thought he had more room than he did, but he really lost his place on the court.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Hawks have gone 1 of 3 since starting the second half. Thorpe against Williams. 41 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Lets it go with a 3. Harris. Here's Huffman. They had a number of cracks at it, but came away empty-handed. Jennings drives in to the inside. The pass to Harvey. It counts, and the foul. They get Devin Harris.
Good job there recognizing the mismatch and then just going straight up with the shot. He's got a major height advantage.
And the Nuggets making a change here. The Nuggets shooting their third free throw shot of the game.
Well, as a unit, they shot about 70% from the line over the course of last season, so not the kind of percentage they were hoping for.
And I know the free throw shooting is an area they focused on improving coming into this season.
Now Williams. The feed to Harris. Harris, right side. Misses the shot. 3 quarters of play in a close game here. Nuggets ahead. They lead by 2. 2K Sports back in a moment here at Phillips Arena in Atlanta.
Pelicans up against the Miami Heat. And now we send it out to American Airlines Arena. Kevin Clark and Steve are there, courtside, ready for tip-off.
And there, a bit earlier, the Heat getting mentally and physically ready. 2K Sports presents Thursday night in the NBA. Joining me in the booth, Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And this is Kevin Hart. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. First for the Pelicans, and playing at the center position, one of the Lopez twins out of Stanford, 7-foot banger, Robin Lopez. Then there's Al-Farouq Aminu, and it's Miller in at the 4 slot. And then for the Miami Heat, Brandon Knight is out there, Gallinari. And it's Bynum in at the 4.
If you're in the Western Conference and don't want to finish near the bottom, you've got to be able to rack up some wins against the East. And New Orleans, with a young team that's trying to find itself, just didn't have a good record against the Eastern Conference.
Well, Clark, you spoke about the Pelicans' record against the East last season. They were just 12-18, and that was the second worst mark for anyone out west.
Well, you could see they were timid at times. They were unsure of themselves. They just didn't have enough talent, enough belief in themselves, and it showed. Anytime they went on the road, west or east, it felt like they were in some trouble.
Now, here's Knight. From outside, off the mark. And here's Aminu. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
He was viewed as a bit of a filler piece when he was moved in the Chris Paul trade, but last season, Al-Farouq Aminu made some huge strides towards becoming an impact player on the court.
The first free throw is good. And for Aminu last season, a career high in minutes and Steve field goal percentage.
Well, he's 6'9", very athletic. Still a little bit of a tweener, stuck in kind of between that 3 and 4 spot. But he's got a ton of potential. He can rebound, he can put the ball on the floor, and he should be a versatile defender as well.
He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line.
The Heat have magnificent talent, but even coming off an NBA title, they had never put their name into the conversation of the great team until last spring when they went on that amazing 27-game winning streak.
On defense, the Heat. Gordon kicks to Love. Back to Gordon. He feeds it to Aminu. Now the pass to Gordon. From outside the arc. Gallinari with the rebound. And for the Heat, they were staring right at the 72 Lakers win record, and I'm sure everyone remembers, but ultimately they would fall, Steve, to the Bulls after 27 consecutive wins.
Yeah, that streak to me was one of the great feats in NBA history. Winning 27 games in a row in the regular season, so difficult, but it showed you what the Heat were made of. They really were battling every night, and I thought that put them on a great run heading into the playoffs.
And so it's New Orleans with it after the Heat pick up 2.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
Defensive foul, Tony Bremerton. That's his first personal foul, second team foul.
We've got 1:23 left here in the opening quarter.
And Gallinari, a 6'10" small forward, highly skilled, excellent size, really good mobility as well. That makes him a really confident, capable player at both ends of the floor and gives him an advantage because of that 6'10" frame.
5 on the clock. Love the pass to Gordon. There's the 3. Gordon with another miss.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
Knight with a screen on Lopez. Aminu grabs the miss. And Gallinari, Clark, you mentioned, good size, moves his feet well defensively. I'll be anxious to see how he comes back from this blown knee.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you mentioned the defense, Kevin. He's frequently called upon to guard some of the best players in the league, guys like LeBron or Kobe. Usually a man his size isn't going to draw a lot of perimeter defensive assignments, but Gallinari can really move.
And here is Knight after Eric Gordon hit the three. Good ball movement here by the Heat. Stevens, the pass to Knight. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two.
Obvious foul. Yeah, he took a hit right there and earned those free throws.
The Heat shooting their first free throws of the game.
Well, this is a club that shot 75% as a team from the free throw line last season.
First free throw is good. The Pelicans making a switch here. Hits them both. And in this first quarter, about 3 minutes played. From deep. And that's not going to go. It's all tied in Miami. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play.
Well, when you have the best record in the league, you're going to be the most dominant, one of the most dominant teams at home. The Heat just destroyed people down in Miami, and only the Denver Nuggets had more wins at home than the Heat did.
Vasquez with it. And how crazy is that from the Heat to win as many games as they did last season, but still be second in the league in home wins? Still, we're far and away number one at home in the East.
Well, yeah, the Knicks were the closest team in the East, but they still had 6 fewer wins at home than Miami. But the Heat really just did what they had to do to put themselves in position to go on to their second NBA title in a row.
Ireland, defended by Howell. Pass to Cox.
Get there.
Clock at 6. Fires the three. That's good.
They're extremely lucky to have the lead here. They were bothered by the defense in the first quarter. It was harassing them a bit and threw them off rhythm. Shooting only around 25% from the field right now. Pelicans ended up being the name that New Orleans chose when it was all over. And I like the new look uniforms, but they had some other options as well that sounded pretty good to me. How about the brass? Because it gives nod to the music that New Orleans has popularized.
Passes it to Gilbert. 1:43 left in the first half of the game. Here's Hale. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, definitely a nice sounding name. Other options were the Swamp Dogs, the Bull Sharks, the Mosquitoes. Steve, all in all, you have to think they went the right way with the Pelicans.
I don't know. My personal favorite was the Rougarou, Kevin. I don't even know what that means, but that was in the mix. Would have puzzled a lot of other people around the country besides me, but better than Mosquitoes, that's for sure. Pelicans was probably the right way to go.
Well, this season, a new mascot, new team colors, and a brand new state-of-the-art 50,000 square foot practice facility for the Pelicans. It's not just a new paint job, folks. This is a franchise doing some exciting stuff.
Austin Rivers, he's checked in for the Heat. That one is no good. And Clark, you mentioned the new colors for the Pelicans. No longer the purple, teal, and gold of the Hornets, but blue, gold, and red from the city flag of New Orleans. He looks pretty good.
It does look good. And remember the other connections. I mean, blue is featured on the Louisiana state flag. Gold, Mardi Gras color, of course. You know, and then you think about the connection to the plumage of the brown pelican, which I've studied for years. And of course, red. I mean, the red represents... I have no idea what red represents, Kevin.
Here's Rivers after the made shot from Howell. The dish to Rivers. Heat moving the ball around. Takes the three. Good.
He's got a nice stroke from long range, and you know, he's not likely to pass up those opportunities when he gets them.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. Kicks to Vasquez. Wide open. It's hauled in by the Heat. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. Pelicans shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game.
2 shots.
That one is off.
Only 3 teams in the entire Eastern Conference had a better than 500 record against the West, and no surprise the Heat were one of those 3, and they were dominant against Western Conference opponents all year long.
And he misses the second one as well, so he is 0 for 2 that time. Mark, adding on to what you were saying about the Heat versus the West, they ended up 25-5, which is incredible, Steve, given how many tough teams that are in the Western Conference.
It's amazing, Kevin. They had a better record against the West than they did against the East in terms of their winning percentage. So I think that speaks to just how motivated Miami was when they went out on the road to the West in particular to really show everybody how good they were.
Pelicans shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. The first one falls. The Pelicans making a switch here. Both free throws good from Howell.
Well, this is what you have to do when you're trailing. You've got to attack, be aggressive, and get to that foul line.
And perhaps cause some foul trouble along the way. I mean, that can have a big impact down the road.
Here's Bynum. Pelicans with the rebound. Aminu's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Here's Howell. And the first half ends in a close one. Heat lead by 3. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome to the halftime report with a close contest going on out at American Airlines Arena. Miami up on top against New Orleans. They've really dug in defensively. They're getting all the stops. And the Pelicans going all out. They've done all the little things, made all the hustle plays, and that's been the difference. And that's all we got for you here in the studio. Time to send you back out to Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris for the start of the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back to Miami, Florida, and the American Airlines Arena.
The big story in New Orleans, guys, is the change of the name. from the Hornets, a name that came with the team when they relocated from Charlotte to the brand new Pelicans. Now, Pelicans might not be the most intimidating name around the league, but it does have a nice and special connection to the city and state.
Pelicans trailed by 3. Love dishes to Gordon. Lopez sets a screen for Gordon. Nice teamwork to set up the big play and make the space for the J. Well, Clark, and I really didn't know you knew this much about birds, but the brown pelican is indeed the state bird of Louisiana. Their numbers have rebounded dramatically after being hard hit by the Gulf spill. So a representation of the city's triumph, Steve, over great adversity.
Well, I'm happy it was something that is connected to the city. I'm talking about the name, the Pelicans, because remember, originally this team was known as the Jazz, and that made sense. Utah Jazz made no sense. New Orleans Hornets made no sense. New Orleans Pelicans make sense, guys. Well, he hasn't had much success shooting the ball, but it's not too late for him to get it turned around and start contributing. I'd say that shot was well within his range.
You think so? I mean, I was pretty good from 2 feet and in myself. That's a gimme there.
Love off a pick for Miller. Feeds it to Lopez. Back to Love. Dishes it to Aminu. Love outside. Good on the three-point shot. Love's got his first 3 points of the game.
I'm not sure that was the play they had set up, but it was too good a look to pass up.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
A lot of people thought the East would be a cakewalk for Miami last year, but Indiana made sure that wasn't going to be the case. What a series with the Pacers using their size and strength to pound Miami down low. And eventually the Heat were able to pull it out, but boy, was that a tough series.
And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball. He dishes it to Bynum. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way. And just to touch back on the Eastern Conference Finals, went to a Game 7 where Miami ran away with the game. But, you know, Clark, if it weren't for the heroics of LeBron earlier in the series, it could have been the Pacers that took on San Antonio in the finals.
You know, I was thinking a little bit about 2 former ABA teams meeting in the NBA Finals, but the Heat managed to steal Game 1, and I thought that proved to be the difference in the end. That was a game the Pacers had and didn't squeeze. But the way these two teams are constructed, they should be seeing a lot more of each other in the near future. And I think that's great for the league because whenever they meet up in the regular season or the playoffs, it's always been a battle the last couple of years.
Nice rivalry developing between those two.
You're right.
Yeah.
A good one brewing there. Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
Molinari passes to Stevens. 50 seconds left here in the third quarter. Good ball movement here by the Heat. 4 on the shot clock. And here's Gallinari outside. Miller grabs the miss. Miller's got his third rebound on the night.
Definitely a 2-for-1 situation here, guys.
Yeah, the wise move would be to find themselves a quick shot right away.
And Aminu kicks to Gordon. There's the feed to Aminu. He passes it to Love. There's the dish to Gordon. Lopez with the ball. And here's Love from the arc. And Bynum pulls it down.
Rebounds are split just about down the middle in this game, Clark.
I'd venture to guess whichever team is able to maintain that energy level on the glass will have the upper hand the rest of the way.
Gallinari dishes to Knight. Fires from 14. No good trying to beat the buzzer. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. It's the Heat up 2. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us. All right, right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. In a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Heat.
Well, the great passing we saw in the first half was carried right over into the second.
They've really been on fire from beyond the arc tonight, too. I mean, a lot of their points have come from out there.
Miami's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. And the pass to Stevens. He kicks to Bynum. He's covered by Aminu.
That's his second personal foul. First team foul.
Launches a three. Out of bounds, New Orleans will take possession. Gallinari is checked in for the Heat. The Pelicans trail. Love outside. He feeds it to Aminu. Aminu off the pick for Miller. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The drive by Gordon.
Well, Gordon is known for his ability to knock down threes. Tremendous range from the three-point line and beyond for Gordon. But I think what makes him dynamic is his strength and his ability to use the threat of the three-point shot to draw defenders out and then attack the rim from there.
That is scary on a player like Eric Gordon, too, Steve. I mean, you know they'll start looking his way at the end of close games. So not only are you worried about him stepping up and knocking one down from deep, but you also know he can get to the rim and maybe create a three-point play.
Andrew Bynum's checked in for Austin Rivers. And it's tied up with that one.
You know, the tension could not be any higher right now, and he looked like he was shooting free throws at practice. Just a cool customer.
Knight kicks to Gallinari. Pass to Bynum. Defended by Gordon. Here's Stevens. Gets the three-pointer to fall. And the Heat lead by 3.
In the first half, they shot a little over 30%. That's dismal. That's obviously not the start that you want to see. But they've settled down here in the second half, getting some good looks, and they've started to knock them down.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. They're down by 3. 1:58 left in the fourth quarter. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Monty Williams address his team. He tried to really fire them up to bring it home, saying, all night, you have all night to rest after the final buzzer. For now, we have to lay it on the line and try to bring it home. Guys, back to you.
Thanks again, Doris. Just over a minute played here in the fourth. Love kicks to Gordon. Pass to Lopez. New Orleans moving it around. He lobs it up. Knocks it loose. And here's the fast break. Knight leading the way. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. He hits the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 5-point game.
And that makes it a 2-possession game now. Those could turn out to be vital free throws.
We're just over a minute and a half now into the fourth. Love the pass to Aminu. Kicks it to Gordon. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Lopez. Some solid D here from Bynum.
Tough D on the inside.
Put up a roadblock, a construction barrel right there. That's what he brings defensively.
A nice shot by Knight.
You know, their field goal percentage is creeping up toward that 50% mark, which is a nice change from the first half.
Well, they already had the lead, so now that they're starting to shoot the ball better, I would look for them to take control here.
It's in! Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
He really made that mismatch pay off. A defender giving up that much size isn't going to be able to put up much resistance near the basket.
Now, here is Knight. Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And a tough break is his second attempt at the line. No good.
Not as productive a trip to the line as he would have liked, but they're still in a pretty comfortable position.
And it's Miller with the jam.
That bounce pass got him the ball in rhythm. Nice play.
Miami's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
You got this, baby, yeah!
First free throw is good, and that puts them up by 5. And so both free throws are good, and it's a 6-point ball game.
He adds to their lead with a couple of solid free throws. Time's running low here. They need a hoop.
Yeah, score quickly and then foul them right away.
That's good.
Neither team having any trouble putting the ball in the basket.
Nope, nada. I mean, we haven't seen much defense either. I mean, both of these teams really locked into trying to outscore each other.
That's the first, and that puts them up by 5. So he gets them both, and it's a 6-point ball game. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here, we're just over 2.5 minutes into it. The drive by Love. Into Lopez. Rebound by the Heat. Here's Aminu. It's money from deep. And now they foul and stop the clock.
Yeah, no question the right call at this point. You can't let them just dribble it out.
That's right. I mean, you got to send them to the line and hope for a few misses.
So the first one drops, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. He's off on the free throw, unable to get that second one to drop in. For 3, Love. It's good. And that shot brings them to within just 1. And an intentional foul right there. He drops the first one, and that will put them up by 2. Second one is good. Hitting both at the line, and it's a 3-point game.
Perfect time to be perfect at the line. Now only a 3 can tie it.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. Guys, what do you think?
They need a quick 3 here. It's a tough shot. The odds are against them, but anything's possible.
By Miami in a tight game. Well, they don't get much more exciting than that part.
They sure don't. And when it was gut check time, this team kept their composure, kept their emotions in check, and got it done.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long and thanks for joining us as we leave you with the Jordan player of the game. And both teams going through their pregame rituals, getting loose well before we're underway. Greetings, everyone. 2K Sports brings you the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan. I'm joined by Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr as we get set to bring you all the action. A quick check now for starting 5 for both teams. First for the Spurs. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with a 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. And it's Green, and it's Robertson, and at the 4 slot. And for Cleveland, Kyrie Irving is out there with Dwayne Wade. And they've got LaMarcus Aldridge, the former number 2 pick out of Texas, standing tall in the middle at 6'11". And it's LeBron James, and it's White in at the power forward.
Guys, you go back to the shortened season a year before last, and the Spurs were the best team on the road. But last year, they weren't nearly as dominant on the road. Still solid when leaving San Antonio, but far from the level they played at a couple of seasons ago.
So Cleveland will get the first possession. Here's Irving. Dwayne Wade on the wing. Back to Irving. Irving gets a screen from Aldridge. No good from Irving. And for the Spurs on the road last season, they would still win 23 games in hostile territory. And while that is more than the 22, Steve, they won in the shortened season, they also lost a fair amount more as well.
Well, for the Spurs, Kevin, I think they did what they needed to do. You know, the Spurs manage the regular season. They know when to turn it on and when they can maybe relax a little bit. The big thing is they just want to stay near 500 on the road, protect their home court, and be healthy going into the playoffs, and that puts them in a good position.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. I mean, you just don't know how to play.
First quarter of play, 1 minute played. Quinn kicks to Green. This is the splitter. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot two.
Well, until recently, he was one of the top big men in Europe. Now in the NBA, he's really showing what he's got at both ends of the floor. An active big man. He can run the floor. He can rebound and block shots and score a little bit as well.
Yeah, you know, a mobile 7-footer with a good basketball IQ. He's a factor on the offensive boards, boosting that box score with those second chance points.
Well, the Cavs really didn't have a lot of players that demanded attention on defense last year. Really, just Kyrie Irving. And when he was out, their offense had no punch.
He hits the second from the line. And for the Cavs, Cleveland managing just 6 wins out of the 30 games they had out of conference.
Well, when you can only win 6 games against the West, I mean, there's a pretty good chance you're going to finish at the bottom of the East. I thought injuries really derailed the Cavs season, but they weren't ready to go out on the road and beat better Western teams. Too many young players on the team who just didn't understand the NBA yet.
Here's Quinn, following the basket by LeBron James. Outside, Green. Shot clock at 5. Martin. And it's D. Wade with the rebound.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for him. Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
But, you know, they've got a nice lead. Don't take any chances. The simple one-hander is just fine. Well, LeBron is far enough along now in his career where you can start to project some of his career stats, and they're staggering. I mean, he could end up the first player ever to end up with 30,000 points, 10,000 assists, and 10,000 rebounds. I mean, that's remarkable.
Robertson's shot is off.
He's far too tentative in the paint, and even more so when the defender is tight on him like that time.
And there's Dwayne Wade on the assist by LeBron.
Nice job again that time to add to their lead. I'll tell you what, they're doing everything right at this moment.
They're playing steadily in all aspects of the game, Steve. You're exactly right.
Here's Quinn. They set the pick. He dishes it to Splitter. Green. Spurs passing it around. That doesn't go either for Martin.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Wade dishes to Aldridge. Irving. Pass to LeBron. Wade from outside. No good.
Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
And that does it for the first quarter. Cavaliers lead by 8. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment.
You know, the Spurs really have a cohesive culture, and part of that is something that Greg Popovich has been able to do, and that's being able to join guys together that normally might not hang out. For instance, you had Matt Bonner taking Steven Jackson out to a Coldplay concert last season. One way to help guys get to know each other off the court, and it helps them on the court.
Spurs trail by 8. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, gentlemen, despite what you might have heard from the talking heads, it was another great season for D. Wade. Last season, leading all shooting guards in player efficiency rating. A natural slasher, he's adjusted brilliantly ball in his hands. Coach Eric Spoelstra said, quote, "The evolution of his game has been stark in terms of added weapons and dimensions over the years. His development in that post-up game has allowed that to happen. His movement and cutting off the ball tripled what it used to be. That took an understanding and an IQ of how to get involved when the ball wasn't in his hands. Guys, the great ones always find a way."
They definitely do. Thanks, Doris. And back to Popovich and the Spurs, he really makes a point of getting to know his players and have them get to know one another.
That's right, Kevin. He likes to have his players have a sense of perspective about the world. He wants them to know that there are other things going on besides the NBA. In fact, back in 2012, he had the players watching the presidential debates together.
And Smith with the step.
Well, I love that aggression. Forget about the tip. Just grab the thing and slam it on.
Well, what a way to get second chance points.
Yeah, don't take any risks. Just put that ball back in the hoop.
San Antonio with the ball. 9-point game. Kicks it to Clark. Now the pass to Watts. Clock at 6. The dish to Clark. Pulls it from the elbow. Count the bucket.
And they have to mix it up defensively. That was just too easy.
The Cavaliers leading by 7.
You know, the Cavs have been very mindful of remaining flexible in terms of the salary cap. And when you do this, you set yourself up to perhaps make a big splash in free agency at some point. And you know what's coming. They might have a chance to re-sign LeBron in 2014 with how their books look.
There's 1:40 left in the first half of basketball. Clancy covered by LeBron. Pass to Clark. The putback, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
There you go. Relentless pursuit of the ball. I love it. He never stopped working.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers. And that had been the rumor for a while. The Cavaliers looking to maybe mend some bridges and bring LeBron back in the mix when he gets free agency next year. Their books are certainly in order for it, Steve, and it might happen.
Hey, you never know. I mean, nobody expected LeBron to leave in the first place, so why not give yourself an opportunity? You are in his backyard in terms of LeBron's hometown, so I like what the Cavs have done. They've added young talent, but they've maintained flexibility just in case.
There's 1:17 left in the first half. Fredette with it. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Feeds it to Clark. Passes it to Watts. To the inside. No good from Clark. The Cavaliers leading by 7. LeBron with it. Now guarded by Gibson. LeBron kicks to Fredette. And it's Smith finishing it off. 36 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. He feeds it to Clark. The 3. Cavaliers with the rebound. Here's LeBron. Here's Fredette. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. The Cavaliers shooting their first free throws here tonight.
Yeah, very average shooting team in terms of the free throw line. About 76% a year ago.
And that one falls for Fredette. The Spurs making a switch here. And Fredette drops them both.
Well, you kind of expect that from him. You pretty much know what the result's going to be when he goes to the line.
He kicks it to Clark. He sinks the 11-footer. Clark's got 5 points now this quarter. About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. LeBron, that's a two-pointer, and that's not going to go. And that concludes the first half. Cavaliers ahead, up 9. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Happy to have you with us for tonight's game. Let's start up the halftime report. The Cavaliers off to a great start. And offensively, just filling it up, making the pass to the open man, generating opportunities. They are piling up points in a hurry. The leading scorer, LeBron James. He's got 9 points and 3 rebounds as well. And for the Spurs, they're still gutting it out. They've done a lackluster job boxing out for the defensive rebounds, getting run over inside. A trying first half for Kevin Martin. His shot isn't falling. He's been ice cold. And that'll wrap things up for me here in the studio. Second half is just around the corner. Thanks so much for stopping by.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment.
The Spurs are having a lot of trouble defending against LeBron.
9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
Going forward, I think it'd be a good idea to let him spend a little more time behind the arc. He looks like he has a nice touch from out there.
Spurs trail by 9.
And as you might expect for the team with the second-best record in the West, the Spurs dominated the East last season, played each team twice for a total of 30 games, and went 25-5 in that stretch.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, fellas, Greg Popovich, known for his sarcastic, sometimes contemptuous answers to some of the questions from us media members. He said it seems to entertain everyone but his wife. She tells him to cut it out, be a grown man, and show some maturity. But he said, I can't. I simply can't do it. Guys?
Yeah, he's a piece of work, isn't he? Thank you, Doris. And Clark, back to what you said about the Spurs and the East. It was far and away the best record against the conference, Steve, for a team in the West.
Yeah, the second best record was Memphis with 22 wins. So kind of scary to think that they rested their big stars a few times against teams in the East, and they were still able to put up that kind of a record.
White can't get it to go. And it's the Spurs taking it the other way. And if you're just joining us, we've played over a minute here in the third. Splitter, Aldridge is covering. Splitter with the ball. Aldridge is there. Just 5 on the clock. And it's Martin missing.
That's not how you want to kick off the second half with 3 straight misses.
Irving attacking. The feed to Wade. Tries from 10. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got his 3rd assist on the night.
Now you look at Irving and how much success he's had early in his NBA career. I think the only thing standing between him and true stardom right now is health. He's just had a lot of nagging injuries. He would love to put together an injury-free season.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. And for Kyrie Irving, his first All-Star appearance last season, and just Clark his second year.
Well, you look at his age and what he's doing. Really a skilled scorer and playmaker already with size and athleticism. I like his savvy too, Kevin. He's very slick in how he gets around the basketball court. This kid has a chance to perhaps be an MVP caliber player in a few more years.
.119 left in the third quarter. Splitter passes to Martin. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Martin's got his first bucket in this one.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
Chandler with a screen for Irving. And that'll be Cleveland as it goes out of bounds. Cavaliers retaining possession. And the Spurs making a change here. On defense, San Antonio. They've only allowed 2 points so far here in the second half. Kevin Martin on the wing. Back to Green. Spurs working the ball around now. And it's Martin missing.
Another strong rebound, just like we've gotten used to seeing from them today.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more of those, and this lead will be double digits.
Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Quinn kicks to Martin. Releases. They get it back. Dishes it to Green. They get a hand on it. Barrett the pass to Green. Quinn bangs home the trifecta. Quinn's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Irving for 3. An absolute bomb from three-point range. And the Cavaliers lead by 11. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Cavaliers lead by 11. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. The Cavaliers leading by 11. Now here's Wade. Outside Aldridge. Five to shoot. Wade against Martin. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
2 shots.
Let's go, Dwayne!
That free throw good from Wade.
And as he has gained more experience in the league, Wade has taught himself to rely a bit more on his jump shot and a little less on attacking the rim. But still, you see his confidence really lies in his ability to attack the lane.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. James is checked in. Good on both. And Wade, still a player who thrives on getting in the lane, Clark, and for his career, under 30% from long range.
Yeah, you know, his jump shot is more of a mid-range weapon, quite honestly. He loves the bank shot, loves the floaters, and is always looking to get somebody in the air with that pump fake. And usually, more times than not, guys bite, and he gets free throws.
He gets to the line, you're right. Dishes it to Martin. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. Martin's got 5 points in the quarter.
Now it looks like he's starting to get things going here after that scoreless first half.
Well, Clark, they can burn some clock if they want to.
Yeah, and maybe buy a little oxygen while they're doing it.
Aldridge dishes to Irving. That's out of bounds to the Cavaliers as Cleveland returns possession. We've played just over 1 minute here in the fourth quarter. LeBron, 6 on the shot clock. Irving drives in, rejected by Robertson. Now Martin, pass to Quinn, from deep. And it's Martin missing.
This has not at all been the kind of performance they've needed out of him.
We've got 1:28 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Irving with it, and it's Martin picking him up. Wade left side. Rebounded by the Spurs. Martin's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Kicks it to Quinn. Robertson passes to Martin. Again, Martin missing. Cavaliers shooting 43% from the floor. Martin against Wade. Outside Irving. Uncovered. Off the left rim and up.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Goes up on the wing. Quinn, good. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth. And they go to the intentional foul. Josh Smith, he's checked in for the Cavaliers. .36 seconds left in the game. LeBron against Green, and they double him up with LeBron. Aldridge kicks to LeBron. Back to Aldridge. Good, and the assist goes to LeBron. And the Cavaliers lead by 8.
Time to turn out the lights on this game.
I think they deserve a ton of credit for the way they played here today. Truly a professional display.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They trail by 8. 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What do you think, guys?
Well, talk all they want, but I just don't see a way for them to get back into the game here.
You know what? I don't know if there's a 10-point play out there. That being the case, this one is finished. Over.
A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. And here comes Fredette. We see the Cavaliers get the win here. They pulled off this win, Clark, with respectable performances on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think it was just really a nice overall effort, Kevin.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan player of the game, LeBron James.
Here on 2K Sports. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It'll be the Portland Trailblazers facing off against the Charlotte Bobcats. And now out to Charlotte for Kevin Harlan for opening tip-off.
Welcome, everyone. This is what you've been waiting for. The NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. And now a quick check of our starting lineups for both teams. First for the Trailblazers, they've got Jones. Each and every night, so important to utilize that size under the basket, and you know he'll be contributing in every way he can here tonight. Then it's Nelson, and it's Hickson in at the 4 spot. And for the Bobcats, Lawson out there with Williams. And at the center position, the 7-foot big man from Kingston, Jamaica, Jerome Jordan. Rookie season underway. Then there's Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and it's May in at the power forward position.
Well, you know, this last offseason, the Bobcats announced their intention to change the team name to the Hornets, reclaiming the name of the original Charlotte franchise that left for New Orleans in 2002.
And just like New Orleans chose a name, the Pelicans, that has local significance, the Hornets, a historical reference to Charlotte's rebellious fighting spirit during the American Revolution. Steve, you were just telling me about this. Fascinates you.
It does. I'm an American history buff, Kevin, and I'm also an NBA history buff. And you think back to the Hornets in Charlotte originally, they sold out for 9 straight seasons. So the Hornets nickname absolutely belongs in Charlotte.
Ty Lawson out of North Carolina in his 5th season has really improved his playmaking in the league. Every year he's increased his number of assists and his rate of assists, rather, and I love his speed as well.
The first free throw is good, and Lawson's becoming more of a playmaker. Clark, he's also upping his scoring every year, so I'll throw it to you guys right now. You know, where is this kid going?
Well,
Steve?
I'll take this. I mean, I think he's become an elite-level point guard, and for Denver to take that next step, you know, that's what it's going to take. He's going to have to become their Derrick Rose, their Tony Parker, and I think Lawson is on his way to doing that.
So it's Portland now. Nelson with a screen on Lawson. Holcomb, Lawson defending. Here's more. Trailblazers keep it alive. Trailblazers moving the ball around. Nelson kicks to Hickson. Inside. Moore outside. Williams with the defensive effort.
Well, he's been trying to add that mid-range shot to his arsenal, but it still isn't there.
You know, at 33 and 49 on the season last year, the Blazers were well below 500, but they were a 500 team against the Eastern Conference.
The shot's good from Jordan.
Whether by design or accident, that was a very high-quality shot they created.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. He kicks to Hickson. There's the pass to Moore. Fires for 3. No luck. And it's the Bobcats taking it the other way. Portland, as you said, was 500 against the East last season. They were 15 up and 15 down. You know, you look at how other teams with that record fared against the East, and Steve, 500 isn't bad.
Well, usually when you finish 16 games under 500 for the season, as the Blazers did, you don't go 500 against either conference. But you know, they happen to just have a good matchup, apparently, with a lot of their Eastern opponents, and they did pretty well.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Kevin, I had a chance to speak with the head coach for the Charlotte Bobcats. He knows they're up against a team that plays best when they're getting to the rim. He told me that their number one concern is going to be sliding over to help on any drives and closing up any lanes to the hoop as quickly as possible. Good rotation is key, guys.
Thanks again, Doris. Trailblazers have gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Kidd-Gilchrist against Nelson. There's 31 seconds left to play in the first quarter. No good from Moore.
He may need some rest, guys. He looks tired because he hasn't made anything this quarter.
Here's Williams. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
And he will take the ball right into the teeth of the defense.
Trailblazers making a change here. And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
And, of course, last year, superb free throw shooting, above 90%.
And, guys, the numbers don't lie. I mean, he was such a reliable presence at the free throw line all throughout last season.
Smith outside. Outside for Lewis. Shoots. Oh, trying for it. Launches a three. Can't get it to go. And so the first quarter is in the books. It's the Bobcats up 5. 2K Sports back in a moment here at the Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte. And now the second quarter just getting set to start.
You know, it was another dreadful year for the Bobcats. After a promising start, they just weren't able to maintain it. They ended up as one of the worst teams in the league, and they didn't play well at home or on the road.
Trailblazers trail by 5. Here's Smith. Lewis outside. Back to Smith. Shot clock at 5. Loss to Sims. The Trailblazers need to get off a shot. Lewis misses. And you can see your wins stay static and your losses grow exponentially when you can't defend your home court. Steve, third worst home court record in the league for the Bobcats last year, playing in the Queen City.
Yeah, 15 wins for them here in their home building last season. I mean, that's just not going to cut it. They just had a difficult time scoring points. Just not enough talent on the roster.
Here's Lewis after the made shot from Sessions. That's good from 17 feet away. And we've played through the first minute here in the second. Back to Kid Gilchrist. He feeds it to Mullins. He dishes it to Kid Gilchrist. Here's Garrison. Cranes the three-pointer.
Boy, and their offense scorching now. Red hot. They've really turned it on.
I don't think they can play any better, guys. I mean, they are just making it look easy out there.
The Bobcats making a switch here. Vendors check in. .146 left to play in the first half.
Well, for the Portland Trailblazers, a new training staff hired over from Oklahoma City. They let go of their previous trainer who'd been with the team for 19 seasons. And fair or not, I think the seat got hot after all the injuries that were really devastating this team.
Now here's Lewis. And it's Smith penetrating. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And for the Blazers, statistically the most injured team in the NBA, Clark, from 2009 through 2012.
And the new training staff is advanced in not just injury treatment, but injury prevention. And that's key, using strength bands, recording baseline measurements for muscle strength and flexibility, even using Eastern medicine. So they're not leaving any stone unturned. You know, when you have a season that the Bobcats had last year, it's easy to look at a number of low points, but perhaps the lowest point was being down by 50 points to the Thunder in the game early in the season. And that one's hard to swallow.
Smith hits them both. And as you said, Clark, to be down 50 points to any team really is a low point for a team, and could sum up the Bobcat season last year. Just too little offense and, Steve, not enough defense.
How about that combination, Kevin? Too little offense, not enough defense. I think that usually will signify a poor season.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Thank you, Kevin. J.J. Hickson last season was 4th in the league in rebounds per minute. He says, quote, all gas, no brakes. That's the way I was taught to play the game. but he says he's much more than just a hustle guy, adding that calling him that takes away from my overall game. I can shoot, I can make basketball plays. He did improve his jump shot last season, and at 25, he has plenty of room to grow, guys.
Well, as his shooting comes along, that's a great way for him to really find his niche, Norris. Thanks. Now, here's Sessions after the miss from Smith. So he gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
And the offense just getting right to the rim, but at least they saved the layup with the foul.
That's old school basketball rules. I mean, at the end of the day, no easy layup. Earn it from the line.
Come on, you can hit this!
And he makes the first. The Bobcats making a switch here. And so Sessions nails both of them. And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Smith the pass to Hansen. Sims. And some nice ball movement here by the Trailblazers. Back to Lewis. 5 on the clock. From 13. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The Trailblazers have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. 2 shots. And the first one at the line is good. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. And both free throws good for Lewis. Got it off in time. Shot is off. And the first half is now in the books. Bobcats lead by 6. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome to the halftime report for this Thursday night. Charlotte up on top against Portland. They've been working the ball inside, getting in close, easy points around the rim. And hanging tough, the Portland Trailblazers. And defensively, they've done a good job grabbing rebounds, limiting second chances. That's it for me here in the studio. Time to send you back out to Kevin Harlan and the crew for the start of the third quarter.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the NBA on 2K Sports as we get set to get going once again. Hey, during the break, players getting a chance to refuel and hydrate with some as there is more basketball in store. Trailblazers trail by 6.
You know, guys, Portland had one of the worst benches in the history of the league last season. You know, they didn't get much contribution there. It was almost like they went into every game playing 5 versus 12.
Dixon is screen on Lawson. Shot clock at 6. And Moore kicks to Nelson. The fadeaway. And the rebound goes to the Bobcats. Well, as Clark was talking about when referring to the Blazers, the bench scoring was a big problem for him as they didn't have anyone really outside the starting 5 that Steve could be counted on for 7 points or more a game.
Yeah, look, the NBA game is 48 minutes long. It's tough to survive for those full 4 quarters when you have no offensive punch off the bench. But I think this offseason they added a lot of firepower, a lot of scoring in reserve, and we'll see if that makes a difference for this team this year.
Portland with the ball after the made shot from May. Moore outside. For the 3. Bobcats pull it in. Jordan's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Lawson dishes to Kid Gilchrist. The kick out to Williams. From 17 feet out, here's May. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
The Bobcats making a switch here. First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Now a timeout called by Portland. Third quarter here, over a minute and a half into it. Holcomb, Larson defending. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Well, you have to be so careful when you have the ball around him because he's got quick hands, really strong hands. And he has a knack for blocking shots, stripping players on the way up as they go up for lay-ins. So you've just got to always know where he is on the floor.
And, you know, this is the other thing about him. He's very sophisticated as a one-on-one defender. No matter who he's matched up with, he consistently takes away their #1 strength. The Bobcats came out of the gates fast to start the season, won 7 of the first 12. Amazingly, that actually tied their win total from the previous season that had been shortened, and they set a record for a team matching the previous year's win total in the fewest games, but unfortunately it didn't last.
And the Bobcats making a change here. Jordan's checked in. And that trip coming up empty, missing both. Well, Clark, as you said, that hot start would quickly vanish as those 7 wins would end up being an entire third of their total wins of the year. Steve, once the meat of the season came around, they just couldn't keep up.
Well, reality always sets in the NBA, Kevin. I mean, when you don't have enough talent, you might get off to a hot start, but it's all going to turn around, and that's exactly what happened with Charlotte. But, look, they're getting better. I like some of their young players. They're competing. I think this team has a better future than people realize.
Bobcats shooting their 6th and 7th free throw attempts tonight.
Easy, boys, come on!
Free throw good, Jordan.
Guys, it's no surprise that a young team like the Blazers found it difficult sledding on the road. Not quite the experience or edge needed to put together good performances on a nightly basis away from home.
And so Jordan nails both of them. Well, for the Blazers, statistically, they played as close as you could ask for as to when they played at home, but they didn't really have the roster to protect the rim, and Steve forced turnovers, which is always a big help on the road.
Yeah, their interior defense was a problem last year. A lot of teams just eat them up, particularly when Portland would go out on the road. That's one of the reasons they finished 11-30. You have to be able to defend at a high level to win away from home.
And here is Jordan after the three-pointer from Moore. On the wing, Williams from outside the arc. Kept alive, swiped it away.
And they'll probably let the clock wind down here.
Exactly. No need to give the ball back before the end of the quarter.
Dishes to Moore. Pass to Nelson. One second left. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Yeah, he got whacked. Shouldn't be much debate on that one.
Yeah, that was as straightforward as it gets, guys.
The Trailblazers have made 4 free throws from the line and missed 2. And the first one drops. And the Bobcats making a change here. Both good from the line that time. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Bobcats out in front. They're up by 7. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this. Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play should begin momentarily. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Bobcats.
Fellas, it's impossible to ignore what a good job they've done at the free throw line throughout the game.
And then look at the points in the paint, because they're really winning that battle tonight.
The feed to Williams. 6 to shoot. May, the follow-up jam. And the Bobcats lead by 9.
They are really getting the work done inside with their rebound.
Yeah, not giving up too many second chance opportunities, which is always important, and it's been one of the reasons they have the lead right now.
And so here's Portland. Moore passes to Hickson, and there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, the referee's all over that one.
No doubt about it. Clearly a foul. Nothing to argue about there. First one falls for him. And the Bobcats making a change here. He hits both from the stripe. Guys, a good chance for them to slow it down. Yeah, I agree. Got to use some clock here.
That's his 3rd personal foul. First team foul.
And Lawson, here we go. The 8-footer. Here's May, and the layup's good off the glass.
Well, we've seen that more than a few times. An easy bucket in the lane.
Yeah, the interior defense simply has been lifeless.
Kid Gilchrist comes with a double team. Here's Nelson. Can't hit. Excellent D there from Williams.
Another strong rebound, just like we've gotten used to seeing from them today.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more of those, and this lead will be double digits.
And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Now a timeout called by Portland. They're trailing by 11. 1:46 left in the fourth quarter. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Yes, I had a chance to find out what the Trailblazers head coach was going over with his guys. He said, listen, we've come this far. Now we've got to lay it I know we can do it. So show them what you got and let's make it happen. Guys, we'll see if they can do it.
Thank you, Doris. .146 left in the fourth quarter. Kicks to Nelson. Hits the jump hook. .139 left in the fourth quarter. Bobcats leading by 9. Williams attacking. Pass to Jordan. Good. The nice assist for Williams. 6 points for Jordan.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They sure are. That's 3 straight buckets that have come off of assists.
And Moore kicks to Nelson. Williams with the steal. And they're moving it up. Gives him the lead pass. Ty Lawson again. Lawson's got 4 this quarter.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Moore dishes to Nelson. Moore. Trailblazers moving the ball around. There's the 3. Can't hit. So the Bobcats will take it the other way.
Boy, they've really won the battle of the boards in this one, Kevin.
Lawson right side. Back to Jordan. Working on Jones. Takes a 3. No good from Lawson. The Trailblazers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Releases. No good from Moore. Charlotte's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. And Kid Gilchrist kicks to Lawson. 6-second difference between shot and game clock. Back to Kid Gilchrist. 6 on the shot clock. Charlotte needs to get a shot. Here's Williams. Portland grabs the miss.
That's one he knows he should have made.
There's the triple. And that one's good. So no problem for Charlotte as they get the win. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
Well, that'll do it for us. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, Kevin Harlan saying so long as we end the game and bring you our Jordan player of the game.
Coming up next, it's the Utah Jazz going up against the Orlando Magic. And that's all for now. Time to hand it over to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. I'll be back with more at halftime.
Welcome, folks. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for the latest presentation of our NBA basketball. Along with Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Now a chance to check out tonight's starting lineups. First for the Jazz. And it's Wilcox in at the 4. And looking at the Orlando Magic, Ricky Rubio is out there with Oladipo. And they've got Vucevic, the sweet-shooting 7-footer out of USC, in at the center. Then there's Tobias Harris, and it's Nicholson in at the 4 slot.
You know, there was a lot of talk about the Magic not getting equal value when they traded Dwight Howard to the Lakers before last season, but you take a look at how both teams started, the Lakers and the Magic, and for a time there, the Magic had a better record early in the season than the Lakers. So I think it worked out okay for the Magic.
And it's going to be the Jazz off the tip. Dean passes to Iguodala. Launches a 3. No good from Caldwell. Well, Clark, like you said, hard to believe, but it's true. The Magic did have a better record than the Lakers for the early part of the season, but that was mostly due to a surprise down year from the Lakers, Steve, and a hot start for Orlando.
And remember, the Magic did get that big win at Staples against L.A. That was kind of a revenge for the D. Howard trade. But as time wore on, you know, the Magic's lack of talent showed, and they really struggled the rest of the season.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. The Magic head coach and I had a chance to talk just for a bit. He told me he's a fan of Andre Iguodala, especially the way he's developed his outside shot. He said that was one weakness. He could do everything else, pass, handle, and finish. And boy, what a defender. But now that he's developed that jump shot, there are really no weaknesses in his game. Guys, that makes it awfully tough to deal with a guy who can impact the game in that many ways. Back to you.
Always great to hear from you, Doris.
You know, there are not a lot of point guards who can flirt with triple-doubles, but Ricky Rubio is clearly one of them, guys. I mean, you know he's going to score and rack up assists, but he can get to the rebounding column as well. Some nights, he's right there in that triple-double range.
First free throw is good. Well, in Rubio, and I'm going to borrow a phrase here from Clark Kellogg right to my left here, a stat sheet stuffer. He gets rebounds, he gets steals, he gets assists, he's all over the floor.
You know, the big thing he has to improve, though, Kevin, is just his shooting. He does everything else well, but he's got to improve his outside shot just to keep the defense honest when they're guarding him.
And good on the second, so he makes them both.
You know, Utah usually matches up well with Eastern Conference teams because style of play is similar. Both Eastern Conference and the Jazz like to play a grinded-out physical game, and Utah has the bigs and the defensive mentality to thrive in a slower-paced game, and that's why they went 17-13 against the Eastern Conference.
And it's Vucevic missing. On defense, Orlando. We've got 1:13 left in the first quarter. Dean, defended by Oladipo. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Magic will take it. On back to the Jazz against the East. Did what they needed to do against the conference as a whole. Winning more than they lost, but they also, Steve, had some key setbacks.
And the big one that I can remember was last year where they had that 4-game road trip to the East Coast. They went 0-4, and that was when they saw their grasp on a playoff spot start to slip away.
Davis setting the pick for Rubio. Davis kicks to Robinson. Good ball movement here by the Magic. In low to Davis. And easy 2 points on the layup. Davis has got his first 2 points.
Good possession there, resulting in the easy one down low.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. On the wing, Iguodala. He passes to Dean. Shot clock at 6. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. The Jazz with another miss.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
Robinson drives in. Who's
the offense just getting right to the rim, but at least they saved the layup with the foul.
That's old school basketball rules. I mean, at the end of the day, No easy layup. Earn it from the line.
The Magic shooting their first foul shots of the night here.
Well, they were 75% free throw shooting a season ago.
First one falls for him. The Jazz making a switch here. And so he's able to get one of two. Jazz trail by 3. Here's Bennett. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. This is his first free throw of the game. 2 shots. And the first one at the line is good. And the Jazz making a change here. That's also good. So he hits both free throws. Now, here is Robinson. He kicks to Rubio. Back to Robinson. Here's the 3. Can't get it to go. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. It's the Magic up 1. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here.
Boy, it was a tough year for the Magic last season. They found no salvation here in Orlando either. They were dreadful at home and had the fewest home court wins of any team in the league. Tough pill for the fans there to swallow.
Here's Robinson. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, it certainly seemed the Magic were to be lost after Dwight Howard, but they have quickly turned things around. The development of their young players last year and nabbing the #2 overall pick in the draft helped speed that process. They took Victor Oladipo and now have a fantastic collection of young talent. We'll see how quickly they can get back to the postseason, guys.
Well, they didn't get it done last season, Doris, but they're hoping with the revamped roster, this will be the year. And that home record of the Magic's that you mentioned, Clark, a paltry 12-29. So, Steve, that being said, a big part of why they ended with the fewest wins in the entire league. Why?
Well, I mean, if you can't defend your home court, good luck to you. But the big thing is just not enough talent. I mean, it's a team that is in full-blown rebuilding mode. And last year was kind of the initial season in that campaign, and it obviously showed.
Well, really a promising young roster for the Utah Jazz team, guys. A lot of blue-chip talent there. I think in a couple of years, this team has a chance to be one of the best in the West.
And he can't get the first one. And you got to give this Utah front office a lot of credit. You're right, Clark. They've only missed the playoffs 5 times in the last 30 seasons. Steve, that is a remarkable run.
What I like about Utah, too, Kevin, is that they seem to stay ahead of the curve. They make moves while they still have leverage. Dealing Carlos Boozer, Kirilenko, Deron Williams. So they've done a good job of getting value, getting assets, and continuing to look ahead.
Now, here's Rubio. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Kept alive. Here's Davis. Persistence pays off as they finally hit a shot.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
Henderson with it. Robinson on him. Fires it up. Arm's length from the hoop. He knocks it down.
Good job there recognizing the mismatch and then just going straight up with the shot. He's got a major height advantage.
Boy, you look at Glenn Davis out of LSU, guys, and he might have made one heck of a left tackle in football. 6'9", close to 300 lbs. He's as strong as they come, and yet surprisingly as quick-footed as any big man in the league.
Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. Robinson dishes to Rubio. Kicks it out to Jones. Back to Rubio. Outside Robinson. 5 to shoot. High post shot. The rebound by the Jazz. And Glenn Davis, an improving rebounder in recent years, and Stevie uses his size well defensively.
He's tough to back down. He's got a barrel chest, strong legs. Offensively, he's not a guy who finishes over the top, but he's crafty in the way he can go through bodies and kind of find ways to get the ball into the basket.
Here's Robinson. Following the basket by Ben Gordon. Here's Boozer. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
And things are going to come way too easy for him if he can get that deep post position.
I agree with you, Steve. You got to deny him the ball down there as best you can.
So it's Utah now. It's a 3-point game. And the basket by Gordon.
That lead pass allowed him to get straight to the hoop without losing any momentum.
Back to Davis. Off with the layup.
Rebounds are split just about down the middle in this game, Clark.
I'd venture to guess whichever team is able to maintain that energy level on the glass will have the upper hand the rest of the way. You know, he's got a lot of inches on the defender in that matchup, and he can just shoot right over the top of him without worrying about being bothered.
So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Vucevic checked in for Davis. Andrew Nicholson comes in for Carlos Boozer. Tobias Harris is checked in for Daquan Jones. And it's Oladipo in for Ricky Rubio.
When the Magic made the big trade they did to send an unhappy Dwight Howard away, everybody thought they'd be the doormat of the league, and that wasn't quite the case. They were able to sneak up on some teams early and had enough talent to battle others late.
Jazz have gone a perfect 4 of 4 since the second quarter began. Perfect from the field. Pass to Burks. Here's Dean. What a play. Simply drains it in at the buzzer.
And that is simply a dagger on the way to the locker room. That three-pointer feels like a six-pointer coming when it did right at the end of the half.
And we're through 2 here in a good one. Jazz lead by 4. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's Thursday night in the NBA, and from the 2K Sports Studios, this is the Halftime Report. The Jazz have been rolling along. They're scoring effortlessly. The defense has been completely overmatched. Ben Gordon with some valuable contributions. Nobody out there has been able to slow him down. And a scrappy effort by Orlando. Wiping the glass defensively. Look, no streaks. They're preventing any second-chance opportunities. A valuable contribution so far by Big Baby. He's chipped in 4 points and has also grabbed a couple rebounds. And we'll be heading back to the court for the rest of our coverage as we go to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. You have to like what we're seeing from Dean.
Isn't it funny? It's not always the guy you'd expect to come through with the big plays in the big game.
Yeah, he's really been a difference. But you're right, Steve. Sometimes it is that unknown X factor, and today he's proven it.
The Magic trail by 4. Oladipo off the pick from Nicholson. And Oladipo kicks to Vucevic. The pass to Rubio. Rubio gets a screen from Vucevic. Rubio, the pass to Vucevic. Rebounded by Wilcox.
What a breakout year for Vucevic, who was given the chance to start for the Magic, and he showed that he belonged in a starting five. Just a really good gamble on a player, and the big fellow looks to be an impact player for them for the foreseeable future.
Rubio outside. Rubio gets a screen from Vucevic. Oladipo dishes to Rubio. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. And for Vucevic, in his second season in the league, fourth in voting last season for the most improved player, and I couldn't disagree.
I would not either, Kevin. And you've got to like his defensive potential. He's 7 feet tall, and he's got a 7'4" wingspan, so he can help provide all kind of protection around the rim. And, you know, he's got an excellent motor, too. He makes the most of his imposing frame. I like what this guy has been and could become. Guys, there were a lot of questions about what went wrong for Utah last year as they saw themselves slip from a middle-of-the-pack playoff team to being on the outside looking in at the playoffs. One reason was their play on the road.
Both free throws good from Rubio. As you said with the Jazz last year, getting wins on the road a big problem for them, and they just couldn't keep up in that category. You know, Steve, with other teams vying for a playoff spot.
Yeah, they finished 13 and 28 on the road, and that was what kept them out of the postseason. They just have to improve in that regard this year if they're going to get into the playoffs.
Just 5 on the clock. Here's Iguodala. Glenn Davis is checked in for Andrew Nicholson. The Magic trail by 4. There's 1:40 left to play here in the third. Back to Rubio. A baseline J, and it's off the back rim. No good.
You know, for Ricky Rubio, I think we all know he's a great passer. The question for him coming out of Spain was how well he'd be able to score at the NBA level. And that's been his biggest weakness so far. Shot under 40% from the field last season.
Now, here's Rubio after the miss from Andre Iguodala. And Rubio kicks to Oladipo. Back to Rubio. Good ball movement here by the Magic. 6 on the shot clock. Elbow shot is on the way. The second chance effort. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A three-point play chance here. The Magic shooting the 6th attempt at the free throw line tonight. The Jazz making a switch here. The free throw off from Vucevic. And for Rubio, it wasn't just one area of the floor he struggled both on his outside shooting and finishing around the rim. You know, he's going to have to get better.
And you have to think that's been his primary focus. I mean, defensively and passing, he's very good. So if he can improve his scoring, he'll be in great shape. And it's a combination of adding skill to his ability as an offensive player, but also adding strength and getting familiar with the NBA game. He's a young guy, so give him time, but he's got tremendous potential.
Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense.
Robinson kicks to Vucevic. Harris gets the screen from Vucevic. And it's Harris off the drive. To the middle. Here's Nicholson. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
Heads up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
Gordon with it. Passes it to Dean. Back to Gordon. Beyond the arc. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Jazz out in front, They're up by 3. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter. All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. Jazz leading by 3. Pass to Caldwell. Excellent D there from Nicholson. The Magic shooting just 39% from the field, struggling to find that net. Robinson passes to Oladipo. Feeds to Harris. His first shot coming late. It's rebounded by Caldwell.
Ill-advised shot selection right there, Clark.
It really was. I mean, very low percentage shot there.
Dean, guarded by Robinson. Elbow shot. And too long on the shot. The Magic trail by 3. Kicks it to Harris. There's the feed to Oladipo. Back to Harris. He dishes it to Robinson. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
Well, we've seen that more than a few times. An easy bucket in the lane.
Yeah, the interior defense simply has been lifeless.
The Jazz making a switch here. That one drops. He ties it up.
What a clutch performance. He loves being in these situations. Just relishes the opportunity. A lot of guys say they do, but you can see it in his face. He truly does.
And so it's Utah here with the ball. Dishes it to Iguodala. Iguodala off the pitch from Wilcox. Now the pass to Kent. Shoots it up. Orlando grabs the miss. Harris has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Rubio with it. Now defended by Kent. Robinson drives in. Out to Harris. Pass to Davis. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Harris has got 3 assists tonight.
You know, he's got a quick trigger from that range when he senses that the defense has backed off.
And so it's Utah here with the ball. They have yet to put up any points here in the fourth. The dish to Vucevic. 51 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Robinson, Rubio outside. Stripped away. Fast break. Here come the Jazz. Poked away. Robinson with it. Rubio dishes to Robinson. He feeds it to Vucevic. Oh, draws the hard foul, and he'll head to the line. They get Andre Iguodala.
Well, they had a foul to give, but they couldn't get it done before that shot attempt.
Yeah, and giving up free throws isn't ideal here, Steve. You know that, but at least they've got the clock stopped.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. Orlando making some changes. Andrew Nicholson comes in for Glenn Davis. And it's Oladipo in for Nate Robinson. And so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ball game.
And that makes it a 2-possession game now. Those could turn out to be vital free throws.
Iguodala, the pass to Caldwell. And out of bounds as the Magic will gain possession.
Well, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. And an intentional foul there stops the clock.
Yeah, no question the right call at this point. You can't let them just dribble it out.
That's right. I mean, you've got to send them to the line and hope for a few misses.
He drops the first one, and that puts them up by 5. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Showing off a very smooth stroke at the free throw line right there.
And the Jazz call time here. They're trailing by 6. 19 seconds left in the game. Guys, your thoughts?
I think they have to go for a 3 right now, don't you, Clark?
Yeah, I don't think they have any choice but to go for the 3, Steve.
Seconds left in the fourth quarter. On the wing, it's Iguodala. They get it back. They need this. It's hauled in by the Magic. And so they choose to intentionally foul. First free throw is good, and that makes it a 7-point lead. Second one is good. They're both at the line, and it's an 8-point game. Utah calls timeout. They're losing by 8. 5 seconds left to play in the final quarter. What do you think, guys?
Well, they can call timeouts all they want, but it's not going to do a whole lot of good at this point.
Yeah, this one's about done. The writing's on the wall. There's nothing they can do to change this one.
And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. To stop the run. And so it's Orlando winning this one. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
Well, that'll do it for us. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, endorsed Kurt, Kevin